Back for another video. I have not one but two of them, and here they are. So there actually are three different versions of the bike. So I got these pre-production bikes. Let's with this out there are, but they aren't production. Hopefully, they real quick. However, because I am out here looking at bikes and everything, I am going to try and get to the comments at the end. And Jerry says bad audio. Hopefully, uh, having bad audio. Leave comments in the chat. But if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up or a hello, and we will get rolling through the video. Once again, audio shop and audio. Okay, doesn't look like a sign for audio connection. One. Okay, let me know if you guys can hear me through the camera outside here. I'm not on the microphone at the moment. It's going to take a little bit of a delay for your comments to come through. Hopefully we can get that sorted out. If we can't, we can fix that. We'll shut it down, reboot. Jerry says good. I assume that means audio's good. I'm getting thumbs ups. Awesome. So I may have to stay a little closer to the camera to make sure you guys can hear me. That's okay, much better. Okay, good. Thank you guys for your feedback. I appreciate that. So let me tell you a little bit about the Ontro bikes, and I might as well just get closer. And since I need the camera closer for audio, that's okay. So we have two of the three models, like I said. This is the A1, which is a hub motor model. It is rated at 500 watts, and one of the things that surprises me is the battery. This is a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. I'll talk about that more in a bit. I have the battery sitting over here charging on this one, but I also wanted to leave it off because I want to show you how it goes on and off. There's some cool things about that. So once again, A1, this would be like the base model of the bike. Again, hub motor, 500 watts, decent battery, suspension fork, front rack. These are commuter bikes. So basically, these are not like the usual fat bikes and things that I'm normally showing you. These are definitely meant for the street. But this one does have a suspension fork, so just for the bumps and things in the road. Good tires on them. Generally speaking, I think the company that makes these or is making these is really trying to work on building a quality bike. And my first impression of the bikes was, a little bit mixed because of how they arrived to me. And that I think was just a logistics problem because I don't think I'm the first person to have seen these specific bikes or reviewed them. So I didn't get that brand new unboxing feeling that I sometimes get. So I don't know packaging wise, those sort of things. But again, this is a crowdfunding campaign. A lot of those things could definitely change. So again, A1 hub motor. Now here we go to what they call the G1, which is a cargo version. Now I didn't even notice this at first when they showed up, but if you look at the frame designs, these are totally unique frame designs, definitely made specifically for these bikes. Comes down right here and then back And then this one has a totally different rear triangle. And you notice there's a little bit of space right there. So this one actually is what they call a cargo version. So the length of the bike is a little bit longer on the G1. Hopefully everybody can see that. Rich says, what size frame? And the answer to that is they actually have 3 different sizes. So I'm not 100% sure what sizes these are because they're not really labeled, but there is going to be a small, medium, and large. So that's a plus for these bikes, small, medium, and large sizes. So they say on their crowdfunding platform that the small would fit as short as like a 5'2". The large, they say like 6 foot to 6'4" range. So pretty wide range of bikes. I'm assuming the black one I've got right here has got to be either the smaller or the medium. The G1 could be the medium size. It does feel a little bit bigger, but this one's definitely really small for me. But that's pretty cool. 3 different sizes, 3 different bikes. So again, this is the G1 cargo version, a little bit longer, but you'll notice that the motor is not in the rear wheel. It has a hub motor instead. So not a hub motor. It has a mid-drive motor instead of a hub motor. So that's pretty cool. This is a brand of mid-drive motor that I'm not familiar with. I've never heard of, seen, tested. This is a first for me. But my first impressions are that it's really smooth and it works quite well. Now, the third model I will show you on screen a little bit later because it's called the P1. I don't have one of those. And that's what they call their speed pedelec. And basically it is like I would say it's more similar to the A1 over here. It's just designed to be a little bit faster. I think they would call that a class 3 bike, 28 miles an hour. It's a little bit lighter. It doesn't have a suspension fork like this one, but it has a pretty sleek looking carbon fiber front fork on the P1. So that's a third model that I don't have. So 3 different bikes from Ontro, all being launched right now. And I think, like I said, I think they're going for a quality bike here. They're putting on, I'm gonna grab one of these bikes, bring it closer to you. Okay, we're gonna bring the bike closer, tilt the camera down, and show you some of the features on the bike. So here we go. We have SRAM 8-speed shifter. We've got hydraulic brakes on all 3 of these bikes. Again, there's a front rack on here. They come with fenders. You'll notice there's no fenders on the G1, the cargo bike back there. I just couldn't get the fender fit quite right on that rear wheel, and the front seemed like it was missing some hardware or something. So they should come with fenders, but I could not get them quite lined up. But this one has full coverage fenders on it. Pretty nice frame design here. I mean, this is, the welding and everything looks well done. It is a prototype, so there are some little things like there's a gap right here. I'm assuming in production that's probably not going to be there, but it is on this one, so I'll point it out. Suspension seat posts on both bikes, and suspension forks on both of these models again. Display is pretty basic, black and white. It's got your speed, a basic battery gauge, nothing too fancy. But what they got right, I feel like, are the overall features of the hydraulic brakes, a decent amount of power. They say, because I did ride these around for a little bit, they say it's a 500 watt, like 960 watt peak on the A1 model. Yeah, I would just call it a 500 watt bike. It's not like some bikes where it's like, oh yeah, it's 500 watts. And then you ride it and it's like, whoa, that's definitely peaking way above that. They say it does. I just didn't feel it. It just feels like a 500 watt bike, to be honest. And then for the G1, the cargo bike, I don't know who this guy is, but hey, you're on camera. But then for the G1 bike, 350 watt mid-drive motor, feels plenty powerful, pretty torquey. And part of that is because of the drive system. So again, I said this had an 8-speed SRAM setup. The cargo bike has something not totally unique, but a little less common. Definitely speaks to, I think, the quality they were trying to get. So let's bring that one over next. And before I bring it over, let me show you the battery, because this is pretty cool. When these first showed up and I saw this little battery, I thought it was tiny. It looks tiny. I don't know if it looks, you can let me know in the comments, like, does it look small on camera compared to what you would see on like a Rad Rover or Bolton Blackbird or anything else? Because it does to me. But this is actually a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. That's the same capacity as what comes very commonly on Rad Power bikes and a lot of other brands. And it just feels more compact. They advertise that on their website because of the cell layout, that it's a lot smaller. And I have to agree with them on that. They did a really good job of packaging a battery up nice and compact. And as a plus, check this out. It's got a handle on it. So it's super easy to pull off and actually carry. I've never been one to like care too much about handles or things on batteries, but I have to say that's pretty convenient. Downside, of course, is I don't know if this is a battery that's used on anything else or specific to their bikes, so I don't know how hard replacements will be to get, but the design is really nice, super simple to go on and off. I like it. So good job on the battery there. And again, let me show you how this goes on and off. Carry the bike a little bit closer here. Well, yeah, we're gonna carry it closer. I'm just gonna tilt the camera down so you can see this guy on and off the bike. This is how you guys know I don't have a camera person behind me. So, battery sits right here, and it just swings into place. That's it. It's got a lock, so of course it locks on or off, but if it's unlocked, you kind of push it from one side, and then you can grab the handle here and carry it off. Convenient. There it goes. And of course, I will need to lock that on before I go ride anywhere to be safe. But let me show you the shifter. No, this is not a single speed. This is not an 8-speed hub. It's not a 5-speed hub. It's not a 14-speed hub. Let's see if any of you guys are familiar with this type of hub. Take a guess as to how many gears this mid-drive bike has. Let's see that in the comments. What do you think it is? Is it 5, 10, 14, 3? You probably have seen all of those sizes. And while I wait for the comments to come in on any guesses we have there, this would be kind of giving it away if you've seen these before, but I'll show it to you anyway. This guy right here. Sorry, it just makes me laugh but I like it. I've been aware of these for a while. Oh, there we got guesses coming in. 13, 5, 3, 8. Nobody is correct yet. Keep guessing. So check this out. See this little bicycle guy? And it's like, it looks like a steep hill. That's how you know how to shift into a different gear ratio. So when you twist this, the hill changes to flatter. If I was moving, then I could shift it to where it goes basically all the way flat. But that little guy goes up and down on the hill. Pretty funny. Great design. Greg Carpenter. We got to put that up on the screen. I think Greg was the first one. I see e-bike products guess the right answer as well, which is, well, unlimited's not quite right because it's not truly unlimited, but it is infinitely, well, that's the same thing. Let me explain. It's infinitely variable, meaning that it's a pretty cool mechanism. You got to go look these guys up if you've never seen how the insides work. They're made by a company called New Vinci, and it's an infinitely variable transmission. So there's no steps. The shifting is completely smooth. You never feel any clicks, any grinding, nothing. It's just smooth movement to get into the perfect gear all the time. Now the range is not completely unlimited. There is a high and a low maximum, so they can't go beyond a certain point, but they have a pretty wide range. But basically anywhere between that bottom and low, there's no steps. It's literally infinitely variable. So pretty cool, and they're a lot of fun. Works great on a 350 watt mid drive like this. The low end torque is apparently I clicked on somebody's comment. Thanks, Terry, for joining us. The low end torque, if you shift all the way down, super, super low. So because this is a cargo bike, I think they did it right. You could load this thing up and you will not be lacking on the low end of the gear range. This is going to climb any hill realistically that you need to go up, even though it's only a 350 watt motor, because again, that low range is way down there. So pretty cool. The display on this one is a little fancier than the other one, still black and white, but it's got a USB port on this side. You know, the buttons are really big and easy to see, which is nice. Again, hydraulic brakes on all of these bikes. I already showed you how the battery is pretty slick. Big long rack on this bike. And normally there would be a fender, and that's where this rear light was attached. That is wired into the bike. So it has tail lights and headlights, good quality tires. And because this one is a cargo bike, you may notice if you look closely, it has a center stand, kickstand. See how the legs go out in kind of a V shaped on both sides. So that keeps the bike straight up and down while you're loading all your stuff on it. That is the way a cargo bike should be. Now, if you go to the A1 or the P1 bikes, they're going to have just a standard kickstand off on one side. So pretty cool bikes so far from what I've seen. And one last thing I think I want to show you, and then what we'll do is jump inside, jump on the computer, I'll kind of run through the Indiegogo campaign a little bit, show you some of the specs on the computer. It's just the sizes. So again, this is the cargo bike. And if I scoot this back here, so I am guessing that's like the medium size. And you can see the standover, it's really low. It's not a step through, but really easy to get on and off. So very manageable bike if you're in you know, that 5'2" and up range. And then I think, like I said, this is probably a small, because when I get on this bike, it feels tiny. This is, you know, massive clearance on the standover height. It feels kind of small for me. But again, I'm about 5'10", so I would probably want the medium, maybe the large bike. I'm guessing this is small. But rides smoothly, very nice. Nothing surprising on the power. Again, I would just take that basically at face value. It says 500 watts. Feels like 500 watts. The other bike says 350, but it's a mid-drive. Feels like a good 350 watt mid-drive. And last thing I definitely need to mention on that, I'm looking at one of the things just to verify. Both of these, hub motor or mid-drive, and the other third bike I don't have to show, all of these are torque sensing bikes. So good components. Again, hydraulic brakes, suspension seat posts, you know, fenders, lights, all standard, nice lightweight battery, and torque sensors. I don't know what brand of motor controller or anything is used on these, but the torque sensor itself looks like a narrower version of the torque sensor that we use on the Blackbird. I'm guessing it's the same brand, just because the locking mechanisms on the sides look identical. So torque sensor on all of the bikes, whether it's a hub motor or a mid-drive, which is pretty cool. Now, if anybody, before we jump inside, has any last questions about the bike that require me to look at it, ask right now. I'm going to jump through the comments here. Yeah, I think Pedro seeing a trend to make them more approachable for older riders. Demographics make sense for that. My average customer is usually over the age of 60, and yeah, they should be accessible by everyone no matter what. But I would agree that I do see that as well. So awesome. Torque sensing. It looks like everybody likes that aspect of these. So again, we're going to jump inside, check some of the specs on the Indiegogo campaign. That way I know that I'm giving you the right numbers as far as the, the price, expected retail price, how many days are left, those kinds of things, because it's a lot easier if we run inside. So what we're going to do right now is jump inside here. Oh, here. We don't need to, I like you, Pedro, but we don't need to leave your comment up there all day. Thank you for your feedback. I do appreciate that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just jump into my secret elevator here that will take us inside. Okay, now you should be able to hear me. There we go. Okay, again, we just changed audio, so if you have any trouble, just only thing better would have been if Tony Stark was with me. You guys have funny comments. So let's jump over again to the crowdfunding campaign specifications, and let's check out the bike here. So I've got all your comments up on one screen. Let's share this share screen. Ontro e-bikes. Here we go. Boom. Okay. Oh look, now I'm on there like 5 times on the side too. I don't need to be on there. Let's get this all just, there we go. Okay, so they just started this, like I said, a few days ago. They have 26 days left, so about 4 days ago. And as you can see, they've raised 17,000, 88% of their goal. So it looks like this is probably going to get funded. I can't see any reason why not. You guys have some funny comments about, was this a former missile silo? I wish. That would be super cool. Craig also says over on Facebook, abandoned gold mine, huh? I will never tell. So here we go, production. This is pretty cool. I'm going to jump down to this. Again, A1, G1, P1. P1 is the only bike I don't have. There's slightly different geometry between the bikes. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Here's the battery. And I think it says what brand. Here we go. Samsung cells is what they're using, so that's good. Here's what the different displays look like. So the A1 is the hub motor bike I first showed you. Once again, I said black and white, very simple. The G1 is a little bigger, a little fancier with the look of the buttons, but still black and white. The P1 is a little sleeker, and it's integrated into the stem and handlebars. So that's, oh, and as far as this comment, 17,751. No, that's how much the crowdfunding campaign has raised overall for all the bikes. That's not the price of the bike. We'll go to the prices in a minute. But they've been designing these bikes for quite some time. See the Tektro hydraulic brakes.
Anti-puncture tires, I would say anti-resistant. CVT, that's the continuously variable transmission, or you have the SRAM derailleur on the others, and there's that torque sensing bottom bracket. And then again, the two bikes I have the Sun Tour suspension fork, and then the P1 changes out for a lighter carbon fiber fork if you want to be all fancy. And battery sizes, kind of estimates on range. I would never trust any of those. Just use some common sense. These will go 30, 40 miles. They're very lightweight, not very, but they're lightweight bikes. You know, skinny tires. You know, they're going to roll really easily on the road. Weight between the three, I think it was 23 kilograms at the very lowest. Just multiply that by 2.2 to get pounds. So that would be, so you're about 50 pounds on the P1, the lightest one, 55 pounds on the A1. The cargo bike, you're going up to about 62 pounds, which 62 pounds for a cargo bike is pretty light, I would say. And then there we go. The P1, kind of cool, metallic-y orange color. And then here we go. This is one thing I definitely wanted to show you. These are geometry-like kind of posture setups. So you have size ranges, small, medium, large. See, they recommend 5'2" to 5'7" for small, up to 5'7" to 6 foot for medium. So that should be where I'm at. So maybe that's what the G1 is, because it feels comfortable to me. And then large is 6 foot to 6'5" is what they recommend. So the A1, the first hub motor version, is kind of a fairly upright commuter stance, not aggressive. The cargo bike is more upright. And then finally, the P1 is slightly more aggressive, like road bike stance, just a little bit. And then, you know, you can go through, there's a whole bunch of other specs. You can check these out on the Indiegogo page. Again, this is live right now. But let's jump up to the prices. And here, why don't we get rid of this? There we go. So we can see everything. So again, 17,000, that's what they've raised. But here's the prices of the bike. The A1, the base model, $1,249. So they are saying that the retail price is going to be $2,199, which I can believe that. I mean, you're looking at a bike with hydraulic brakes, you know, again, torque sensing, fairly lightweight. I think the only thing it's missing for that price range is a bit more power. You know, for a city commuter type bike. And I didn't mention the throttle aspect of it, but the A1 and the G1 have a throttle. So the two bikes that I've showed in production will have a throttle. However, the third bike, the P1, does not. So no throttle on that one because it's designed to be a Class 3 bike. Legally, it's not supposed to have a throttle. So again, $1,249 for that one. $2,199 is what they expect the retail price to be. Scrolling down, we have, well, limited edition color. Basically, you pay extra for the blue. G1, the cargo bike, $1,649. Price of $2,899. If this was like a week ago, if this was like not a week ago, if this was like 6 months ago, I would have said these are probably, I think your outside mic is on. There, my outside mic is turned off. That's funny. Somebody mentioned a helicopter outside. I think you guys are right. I just turned that off. I probably would have said these prices aren't going to change that much. I'd be surprised if they go that high. But because of the demand for e-bikes, prices are going up. Probably is going to happen. Thank you, Michael, for joining the channel. It is nice to have you here. Oh, and for those that were commenting about the airfield, yeah, there is an airport right next door. And I just saw when I was riding around on these bikes before this video, there was a decent-sized jet up there. So maybe he took off and made a bunch of racket. That's very likely. All right, back to the bikes. The P1, again, that's the lightest version, most aggressive stance, fastest of all the bikes. $18.99. Expected retail $34.99. So these are kind of a medium to upper range price bikes. At least that's the long-term goal. But again, discounts on Indiegogo right now. That's where you can get them cheaper. They say shipping begins December of 2021. So they're about 6-7 months out. That's pretty reasonable for an Indiegogo campaign, assuming they can actually make that happen. Now, here's where I thought this was interesting. They have their own special frame design for these bikes, which the frame by itself does look pretty cool, I gotta admit. Battery, again, I like, very, very lightweight. I'm scrolling kind of fast here. I know I'm scrolling kind of fast down here because I'm trying to find, they had something on their page that talked about development. And I thought that was pretty cool because it talked about how long they've actually been working on this project or this product. And I wanted to show it to you guys. So I'm looking for it. It's here on their page. Found it. Okay. Timeline. Dun, dun, dun. Let's jump back over there. All right. Let's see. How can they sell them for such prices? Does that indicate the markup? Not necessarily, because they do need to make money on the bikes. So even at an Indiegogo price, they got to make money. But sometimes companies basically will shoot to like break even just on the initial product, just to get the manufacturing up to speed, because it takes a lot of money sometimes to get a batch of frames made. And if they can get the first batch done, then all of their molds and different things are paid for effectively, and they can go full speed into production from there. So not necessarily their markup. I mean, it could be, but if they're smart, hopefully they're still making a little bit of money on those even then. So good question, and kind of depends on the company and how they're approaching this. So once again, back to their timeline. Prototype, man, that looks ugly. But 2015, 16, so they've been working on this for 5-6 years. So obviously they were testing components and stuff at that point. Prototype 1/2, 3D print concept design. Then they fully handmade carbon prototype. That looks like, it's all assembled. Then we have 2018 first rideable prototype. You can see things like zip tied on there, but it looks very similar to the way it looks today. And then 2018, you got another prototype with a mid-drive motor, and this looks slightly different from how it's installed on the one outside. But then, so you can see they've been working on this for 5-6 years. That gives me some hope for this campaign or this company to be successful. The fact that they've been working on this for so long. If they had basically just picked an off-the-shelf bike and were launching a crowdfunding campaign, that really wouldn't make sense. So anyway, that's all the Indiegogo details. If you guys have questions, we can jump back and check out some more of those things. But that is the Ontro bikes. Now, there are giveaway bikes, and I have 2 of them. So one of them, the A1, that's the hub motor bike. We're going to start the giveaway on that one today. So if you are on our email list or anything, basically you'll get a notification. If you're on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description of the video of where you can enter the giveaway. And if you go to our website, of course, you can always just type in giveaway in the search bar, and you can find the giveaway pages that way. But here, let me jump over to the screen. Oh, wrong screen. Remove this. Whoa, I'm everywhere. Okay. let's go over here. So I'm going to share my screen over here real quick. so you can see the giveaway thing that I am seeing. Okay. There we go. So on boltonebikes.com, this is the page you want to go to. It's boltonebikes.com/pages/ebike-giveaway. But again, link is in the description on the YouTube video. We're going to run a fairly short time frame on this one. Less than 4 days, we're going to pick a winner because we have so many bikes to give away. So this is for the hub motor version. So if you want to enter, just put your email address in right there. You can also continue as if you're on Facebook. And we're going to just randomly pick someone. All the rules, regulations you can read, of course, there. Somebody had asked about the last bike that we gave away. And the last one was the Hemiway. I reviewed a bike. I've reviewed 2 bikes since the Hemiway, actually. And yes, we're going to give those away too, but we might find some different, more creative ways to give them away. We've talked about that on Bolton Labs a little bit. So the Hemiway bike, a winner was chosen. If Jessica's still in chat, she can probably comment with a first name or state or somewhere if she remembers. I know that she was in contact with the winner, and that bike is going out. So the next giveaway bike that I have for you guys right now is the Ontro A1. And then as soon as this giveaway is over, which is on Thursday, on Friday, I'm doing another bike review live. And we will start yet another giveaway for a new bike that you guys haven't seen. That one's going to be a fat bike and a full suspension fat bike, maybe a full suspension mid-drive fat bike. So I'm sure some of you will be really excited for a chance to win that one as well. But hey, any bike that's a free bike is a good bike. So yes, the Hemiway was already given away. We found the winner, and that one is already done. So you have a chance to win the Ontro bike now. Friday, you will have a chance to win another bike, and then the rest of those bikes are also going to be given away as well. And thank you for being excited, Hog Doc. I like that screen name. I don't know why, it's just funny. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask. What I will do is leave this chat open. We're at 37 minutes, 45 seconds. We'll go to 40 minutes so you guys can ask any other questions you want about whatever else you want to ask about e-bikes right now before we end this video. What time on Friday? 2 p.m. Friday is the planned time to do the live video. And whenever we start that video and get things going, the giveaway will be live by the time that video comes up. Oh, and thank you. Right on giveaway, says Rich. Thank you, Jessica. She posted in the chat. Congrats, Chris from Illinois, for the Hemiway. So congratulations, Chris, wherever you are. Hopefully you're watching here as well for winning the Hemiway bike. Have fun with it. Do you know what the tire size was on these bikes? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure they were all 26-inch by 2-inch tires. But let's go. I'm searching for tire, and of course it's not coming up. I know that they talk about the tires being flat resistant. They're made by Schwalbe. I'm pretty sure they're all 26s. I would have to actually go outside and look at one of the bikes to confirm, because now that I look at it, oh, I am wrong. I am incorrect. They are 700C tires. So for those that are not familiar, 700C is a very common size for road bikes. So tons of options for tires on these. Also, 700C is used for, I'm using up all the time here. I promise I'll answer the rest of the questions that are already up. 700C is also used on some other off-road bikes now, and in skinny tire sizes, some gravel bikes. So there's a lot of other options. 29er, a 29-inch is the same diameter as a 700C. All right. Answer the questions. Sergio, who cut your hair? I cut my hair by myself. Yes, I did. I did. Ever since the whole, thing happened, I cut my own hair. Will the dog be back on Friday? The dog is running around the shop somewhere. Just didn't want to come on camera today. Thoughts on Electric XP version 2.0? I haven't looked at it that closely. I think they added a suspension fork, and so I can't remember if there was something else. Yeah, my opinion has been don't put a fork on a bike unless it's a good fork. These bikes have a Sun Tour fork, which is a decent brand. Good. When I say these, I mean the Ontro bikes. I don't know what Electric is using. Maybe somebody could comment. Tires off-road and off-road. How compromised are the performance? These bikes are city commuter bikes. They're really not designed for off-road. You could go off-road with this suspension fork, but you'd have to do it slowly. They're just not really made for it. I probably wouldn't recommend it if you think you're going to do a bunch of off-road stuff. I'd go with something else. But yeah, I mean, they could do it, but they're not the best for it. That's for sure. Is it Ani Blue Rose Vamp? I don't know how to pronounce that username. How come you do not mention the e-trike you sell in your store? I don't know why you say I don't mention it. I do mention it. I'm mentioning it right now. I have a video about the trike. I even put some crazy bike stands and drifted around the shop. Go check out that video. And I put a microwave on it and actually had the microwave running while riding it. I have a few videos about the trike. So I haven't mentioned it lately. But yeah, we still get those in every once in a while, and we still sell those. Thanks, Jessica, for not cutting Kyle's hair. I don't know what that comment is supposed to mean. Jessica's not allowed to cut my hair. That would be weird. She works remotely, and obviously that would be impossible. Anyway, what about Saunders? I don't know anything, honestly, about their newest models, the LX or Rockstar, whatever they're called. I've heard of some people being a little disappointed on weights of the bikes not being as advertised because they were supposed to be 65 pounds and it ended up being like 85 or 90 pounds or something crazy. The components look good, but I've never seen one in person. I don't know. Dosed, again, never ridden one in person. I've probably seen them at some of the trade shows I've been over the years. But I haven't ridden them. The quality looks good. The components look good. So on paper, they look good. But I do like bikes with a lot of power, and I don't think they have a lot of power on those bikes. So that's my thoughts. I wish I could say more, but I really don't know what I don't know. So there we have it. Well, thank you guys for being on the live video. Thank you to some of the new members that joined today. I know that I saw a few early on. So if I missed you, sorry. I try and call everybody out when they join the channel for the first time. Michael, that was one of them. I thought there was somebody before that as well. So thank you guys. I will be back. Well, if you want to listen to the podcast, that comes out Tuesdays, which is tomorrow. And Thursday, we'll have our regular video, recorded video posted out. And then again, another review / giveaway on Friday. So thanks again. We're going to end the live stream now. I will get out of the bunker here and get back to work. We'll see you guys next time.